Hello. It is such a pleasure to be here before all of you today. It has always been said that the great thing about this country is that anyone can become president. In recent years, the joke has been that even a guy like George W. Bush did it. When Barack Obama was president, the minority bubble was popped, and the statement continues to hold true. But the fact is that it's not true, is it? Not just anyone can become the leader of this country. It is so hard for the common man to become president. And what makes it worse is the fact that this country is 90% common man. Yet we continue to elect people who are not the common man. People who don't know anything about the real world of everyday Americans. Even the few politicians who did have it hard coming up always find a way to forget their past. Ultimately, this results in a service that is not in the best interest of the people. I am part of the 90%, and I understand exactly what we need passed in order to begin the path of bringing up America. First, I'll need to tell you a little bit about myself and my stances on certain subjects. First and foremost, I am Jewish. However, the science in me makes me agnostic, meaning that I do not fully believe in God until I have more proof. However, sometimes I even consider myself an atheist. This in no way means that I do not have respect for the beliefs or opinions of believers. It just means that I will not let my religious ideas shape my decisions. Just a clear mind about right and wrong. This country is supposed to have a separation of church and state, yet so many laws of America have no other basis than religious ideologies. Marriage is marriage, just plain and simple. It is a legal bond between two people. It makes no difference what the Bible of your church says, because both of them should have no jurisdiction over the laws of this country, and more importantly, how a person should lead it. In order to save money, what I think we should do is save $12.2 billion a month. And by that, I mean call our troops home from Afghanistan and Iraq immediately. Both of these wars together cost us $12.2 billion every single month, over and above our normal military budget. And this doesn't include the countless loss in blood and broken bodies that you cannot put a price on. President Obama was elected on a promise to end the wars, yet instead he's expanded them. Tens and hundreds of Afghan and Iraqi civilians died because we went to those countries. They can't possibly do worse if we leave. Let's say the bad guys do take over Iraq. Then they will be just like Iran, a country with crazy leaders who will send oil to anyone, including us. This country was created as a free society on the shoulders of people who were willing to sacrifice their own lives for freedom. The same thing is happening now, in places like Egypt and Libya. If the people of Iraq and Afghanistan aren't willing to fight for themselves, then that should be their own problem. It will be the policy of my administration that we no longer assist any foreign countries that aren't willing to make sacrifices themselves. Our troops are not expendable. However, this leads me to my next point. Oil is running out, and in the next few decades, we will either have a very limited supply or have completely run out. We have a short amount of time to figure out how to run on something else. We are a smart country. Solar power, wind, or electricity, we will no longer rely on foreign oil in this country, ever. This isn't an idea. It will be a policy put forth to force this country away from it. As this one will be a hard one to pass, there will be a complete coverage of any discussions between all parties involved, so that elected officials cannot be misquoted and can be held accountable for their actions. This coverage will continue for all important bills that affect the American people so heavily, like health care, jobs, and taxes. The people have a right to know what's going on behind closed doors. We work for them, not the other way around. Our current president vowed to do this, but didn't. As your current president, I will. More and more Americans are afraid that we are headed for a double-dip recession. Past presidents have said that the only way out of this slump is to double American exports over the next few years. But China's go-go economy is slowing down, while Europeans are announcing austerity programs all over. If the world is contracting, who is going to buy all the stuff we plan to export? This plan seems to be sort of a bust. Another problem with China is with tariffs. Their artificially low currency is a huge trading advantage that is sucking American jobs overseas, which needs to stop now. Many people do not remember that China suddenly devalued its currency by 30% when compared to the yen to the US dollar, and slowly and steadily devalued it even before that. In 1980, it was 1.5 yen to the US dollar, and now it's 6.8 to 1. The answer is obvious. We need to put a tariff on Chinese goods. A fair start would be a 30% tariff, yet we could even go as high as 50% to meet our needs. The free marketers will tell us tariffs are bad, yet tariffs were good enough for our founding fathers who slapped huge ones on goods from England, another country that waged economic war against us after the Revolutionary War. However, this tariff on Chinese imports would make prices of the goods we buy from China rise by 30% or more. It would be a huge dislocation in our economy as well as theirs. I'm not saying it would be fun, I'm saying it's necessary. Now China would probably retaliate by putting a tariff on goods we sell them as well, yet they have a lot more to lose than we do, as their exports are increasing by huge rates. But do you know what else a tariff program would do? It would start pulling back jobs from China to the US. The only problem is that jobs could just go to another low-wage manufacturing country, which is why we need to put a fair wage tariffs on all imports. The alternative is to see America's manufacturing base continue to be eaten away until it's nothing. Finally, services. Everyone wants services, but no one wants to pay higher taxes that you need to pay for services. Those expensive wars that President Bush and Obama took part in, no one wants to pay for those either. We need someone to get more inflow to match our outgo. For me, the answer is simple. We need to legalize the underground economy, an economy that's operating tax-free right now, marijuana. A potential $100 billion business if it was legal that could yield over $20 billion in tax revenues and enforcement cost savings. It would also be an enormous job creator. It's not like we're winning the war on drugs. If anything, we're losing. Marijuana prohibition is working out about as well as the alcohol prohibition did in the 1920s. It enriches criminals, criminalizes users, and robs the public treasury of potential tax dollars. Don't want your taxes to go up? Neither do I. So let's legalize and tax it. Although these are only a few things that need to be addressed, I will wrap it up with one last point. I'm human. In this presidency, I will make mistakes, and all of you will be unhappy with my decisions at one point or another. That being said, I didn't run for president for fun or to win some sort of a bet. I ran because I truly feel that I can help improve our world. Thank you, and God bless America.